G'day viewers, how they hanging? Peter here. Just thought fucking around the shed today. I've got a new mower that I actually paid $20 for, so I bought it. Not so much that I needed it, but I thought it's a mulching mower and I've always wanted to try one. And this one looked interesting because I hadn't seen it before. So I thought I'll try it. It wasn't running, so what do you got to lose? A bit of fun, and I can always throw it down the tip if it's no good. I've lost $20, but to me that's $20 worth of fun. All right, so here it is. I'll just show you underneath first, because as you can see, I've just cleaned it out. Now I've got the blade off because I've just sharpened it and balanced it, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I took the blade off, and there's a lot of grass underneath. It's an aluminium deck, and as you can see, it's a mulching mower, which up here is a bit of a problem, because if you're away for a week or more and the grass grows, then a mulching mower will only cut short grass. But it does have this spring-loaded flap. So now that you've seen underneath, the blade's off, it's pretty much fucked. I mean, it's pretty much rooted. I'm not sure how these handles originally went, but I'm convinced that that's been modified somehow, and the throttle cable is absent, and as you can see, someone has fucked around with the carby, and we have this strange setup, and for some reason there's no ignition switch, so I don't know how I'm going to stop it yet. But so as you can see, it's a Husqvarna, what's it called, a Mulcher 51M, and it's got 8-inch wheels, an aluminium deck. But the main thing I like is this chute, which fouls on the air cleaner. Now, to me, this is a sliding piece of steel, which is supposed to register, I don't know if you can see that slot down there, but that doesn't work. But it's not much good having it as a 3-in-1 if you can't hold that in the up position. So I notice there's a little curved piece of steel here. So I'm going to eventually make a wooden block that fits in here and holds that up. And I think that will solve the problem if it runs. But the thing I like about it is I threw it on the scales, and as it is, with all that grass underneath it, it weighed 19 kilograms. So it is a very light mower, and the wheels are rooted, but they're 800 grams each, and I could put 500 grams, so that will save me even more weight. I'll just show you the wheels. So if we look at how can I look at the front? Can you see that? Look at this back wheel. And they're only bush wheels. I think it would have been an expensive mower in its day. It's made in America. If anybody's interested, there's the paraphernalia. And but it hasn't got ball bearing wheels. Now these wheels seem to be narrower than this, or the axle is shorter. As you can see, it's retained by a clip, a hole drilled through, but the Australian standard is probably about 3/4 inch longer axle than that, so I can't put Australian wheels on it easily. And there's no provision down in here to drill it out and put a ball bearing in. So I might have to drill these out and put bigger bushes in. I don't know, but I'll show you what I did with the blade. The blade is rooted, but I'm not going to buy a blade. We'll go up to the other shed. I'm not going to buy a blade until I've tried the mower and I see, A, does it work? B, do I like it? But it does seem to be very, very light. So if it's the lightest mower I've got, I'll be pretty happy with that. And if I can use it as a mulcher or a side thrower, I have no desire to catch grass here. So I'll just throw this on the can you see that? If I throw that on there, you can see that I've balanced it, and that's close enough. Now, one of the issues I had, one side is 6 millimeters longer than the other, so that's 1/4 of an inch on the radius, so it's a shitload. So the normal thing I would have done was lop it off one end, but because it's supposed to be a 510 millimeter cut, if I took 6 millimeters off, it's going to be a bit narrower cut. So just as for shits and giggles, I'll show you what I did. Instead of, let's come out in the light. So instead of taking it off one end to balance it, I'll try and see. Can you see there's a scallop out here? Now I took off about 3/8 of an inch or something, 10 millimeters here. And if you look at this one, see how that's straight, and see how this is scalloped. So I took the weight out of here to balance it, leaving this tip long, and this tip is 6 millimeters shorter, but it's still in balance. So I didn't want to lose 6 millimeters of cut, which doesn't really matter, but the blade is rooted, but it's just a matter of getting it in balance and then seeing if I don't even know if the motor will run. And so I just put that in my vise and attacked it, as you can see, with an angle grinder. No rocket science in any of that. So I don't know what this mower is going to do, if it's any good, but it's an interesting mower, and I've never had a mulcher, and it's so lightweight. It may be useful to me. Might be the best $20 I've ever spent. I don't know. Be interesting to put a 2-stroke on it and see how light I can get it, because it weighs nothing. So that's good news. So, hooroo.